So I just realized, so you gender flip uh Smokey and Frog or no, Bandit and Frog. You have Kermit be Frog, Sally Field's character,
Mm-hmm.
and that way he can leave Piggy at the altar, and Piggy is Sam the Eagle's daughter.
Yes.
And I
Furious
wouldn't
and like,
even
no, daddy, hunt him down. Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't even change the fucking clothes. I'd still have Kermit come up in the wedding dress. Like
Oh yeah.
just the
Yeah,
same
absolutely.
fucking
So should Fozzie be Bandit?
yeah, either that or Gonzo.
No,
If
I'd
you don't
have
want
no. It's Gonzo and Camilla in the truck.
to yeah, so Gonzo is Smokey.
Yeah.
Rolf is Bandit. This is an easygoing kind of. All right.
Episode 447 of the TV Dudes, Good Omens. Hey, it's episode 447 of the TV Dudes, and this week it's just me and Nick. Me, I'm Les.
And I'm Nick.
He's the Nick of the whole Les and Nick thing. And of course, somewhere, Randy, I know you're listening to these episodes that you aren't on. And so when we come to discussing certain things in Good Omens, I'm going to ask Randy specifically to skip ahead so they don't spoil things for himself. I know how mad he gets about spoilers. But this week, as mentioned, we're discussing Good Omens, the return of it, season 2 over on Amazon. We're, of course, going to have dessert with the Afterparty and My Adventures with Superman and Harley Quinn. It's mostly dessert this week. And to start things off, our TV Diaries.
The Diaries of the Television Dudes. Brought to you by only the finest cocaine wine.
The appetizer of the show, as it were. Nick and I watched mostly the same stuff. Nick, you want to start?
So much of the same stuff. Well, one, the Patreon for this week is going to be what we actually started with last week, which was the TMNT movie.
Mutant Mayhem, baby.
Throughout this last week, we have been watching Ninja Turtle content.
So much turtle.
A couple of episodes of the original season 1. One of my favorite VHS tapes I showed you the case of the killer pizzas, or the case of the lawsuit that should probably be brung against. And because that
Xenomorph meatballs.
The xenomorph meatballs, they look, the and the Baxter, when Baxter first got turned into a fly, was the episode on the second episode on that VHS tape.
Which tied in nicely to one of the new things they did in Mutant Mayhem, which we'll discuss with Ice Cube's Superfly.
We also accidentally watched, because we were trying to watch this season on YouTube, since Nickelodeon's app sucks. It skipped over a bunch of them to where it was the first playable things were like a couple episodes of season 10 of Ninja Turtles. So we got to see when they ditched Shredder, had a completely new villain, and
Dreg.
Incorporate, like,
man, that's a weird
slow down the
even
theme
for the
song.
Turtles, man. Yeah, the theme song's at like half speed, rocking out, and the whole thing's just odd. I say that for a show about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm. No, the whole vibe is different for that season. I remember it specifically when watching it as a kid, of like, it's not like it's the dark season or the mature season of Ninja Turtles, but it is suddenly all one storyline, like very...
Yeah, it all interconnects, one big arc.
Yeah, which was just unheard of in the previous seasons of, like, what do you mean there's stuff that carries over from the previous episode?
And primetime shows didn't do that in these years.
This was 1997, I want to say, was this season.
Yeah, something like that.
Like the year after the movie. And then we watched, because neither of us ever watched it, because it's never been streaming anywhere, because no one, I think, can figure out where the rights are, Batman versus TMNT. Or is it TMNT versus Batman?
Very rarely, I'm very cheap. Very rarely do I pay to rent anything. And this time, absolutely worth it. Absolutely paid off. Go drop the $3, whatever, $4.
Fucking Batman versus TMNT fucking slaps. That movie rules.
Yeah.
Just great stuff as far as the look of it is great, the animation style, the Bat family interacting with the Turtle family, the Turtles, Michelangelo being a low-key just fan of Batman, if not just Gotham. They
Oh,
fight Penguin and he's like, "Dude, is that fucking guy's machine gun an umbrella? This place rules."
Gotham is bonkers. I love this.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, he just low key steals it. Man, the gray and blue bat
he
suit.
fucking Penguin flies off and he yells out like, "Gotham is bonkers, yo."
It's just the fight scenes are amazing. The interaction of like Shredder,
Dude, the fight scenes are pretty
I mean,
brutal.
of Shredder and who he's working with.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely killer movie. We should own it. I love watching that. It was awesome.
Yeah. Great, huge, a lot of references to the cartoon, the toys, and the 1990s film going forward. And man, the credits for that movie, the credits are just classic Ninja Turtles and Batman comics, but with
That's right.
Ninja Turtle or Batman added into their perspective. Uh, it's the Dark Knight Returns, but the turtles are behind the Frank Miller Batman when he's jumping.
Yeah, or it's obviously a Batman and the Outsiders logo and a classic Batman and the Outsiders cover, but
Instead of the
it's Ninja
Outsiders
Turtles.
behind him, it's the Ninja Turtles. Or in the Ninja Turtles, the classic Eastman and Laird version of Raphael versus Casey Jones, only it's Batman on the other side of the alley. Like, it's fucking, like, we watched right through the credits of like, oh my god, that one, and then that one. It's
one of the smoothest carries to a stinger I've ever seen, because I genuinely was like loving watching the credits and was like, oh, the credits are
Yeah.
more movie.
And then the
in a way that hasn't worked since before the MCU started, really.
Yeah.
And then the stinger is awesome.
Even the turtle van coming up that has the pizza launcher on it
Oh shit.
that
you get
launches
all
manhole
of that.
covers that are like, motherfucker, that was not in the cartoon. The cartoon did not have that. That was the toy. That was the toy
Yes,
that
but
had
they
that.
you get to see the toy animated in the Batman universe. It's
great.
wonderful.
Great stuff. And they get to
Yeah.
mutanigize all the Batman villains. Like, they get to
Oh yeah.
you want to see Mr. Freeze as
everybody-
a polar bear? No? How about
still has his beard?
How about Yeah, it still has his goatee somehow. That's fur outside of fur. I don't know how that works.
Oh, Harley Quinn.
Hyena Harley Quinn, Snake Joker, Scarecrow. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Scarecrow. Oh god, it's so weird. Yeah. Movie was really, really good. Like Mask of the Phantasm, good.
yeah,
I loved
it's fucking great. One of the best Batman fucking even not even just animated movies, but one of the better Batman
And that
movies.
is not to say that I'm not shitting on Mutant Mayhem, that we watched this other, like, listen to our Patreon for how we felt about Mutant Mayhem, which was also absolutely amazing. We lucked into a second fantastic
Yes.
Ninja Turtles movie, and it's Ninja Turtles Batman.
I showed you well, I mean, hadn't seen it before, but I caught on Peacock they threw on T-34, which I guess is called Iron Fury, which is just from the premise, it's a Russian film, so it has a certain level of Russian acting and stuff in it, but the premise of like prisoners in World War II, like in Nazi France, Nazi occupied France, I think they're in, and they take prisoners, put them in tanks, and just shoot at them for practice drills. And it's about this tank team that gets that takes one of the tanks and fucking escapes with it.
Yeah, it's a little bit like, obviously they've just, like, the Nazis that are running the camp that just want, like, oh, you used to command a tank, great, you'll be fun. They disable the tanks as much as they can. Like, they're supposed to have like a really limited amount of fuel in there, and they don't have any real rounds in the tank.
Yeah.
And these guys, like, I wish it was a bit more of an American style movie, because they just clip through this shit in favor of the most stunning slow-mo crazy ass tank fights you've ever seen.
Yeah.
But it is a really cool kind of great escape story, as these guys compile shells to fill up this tank and extra fuel, and like they manage to fucking escape in this tank and cause just straight hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I love that they get into the math of it, of like breaking down, like they get stuck in a town and have to break down like, well, this tank is this far away at this angle. That tank, like our tank can cover like how many meters in a second. That tank can cover that many meters. It takes them this long to turn, and just doing the math on like we need a second and a half a distraction to clear this road.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. Like knowing that, like, no, we only need a second and a half, but we absolutely have to have that second and a half. I think wasn't there one spot where it's just two tanks that are like right next to each other,
yes,
both
yeah.
trying to turn
They
their turrets at the same time?
They accidentally run into each other in the thing, and they don't notice each other, and their turrets aren't aimed at one another, so
They're facing the
it's a
wrong way.
race.
Yeah.
It's a race to see who can get to the next, who can get their turret turned around enough in
Yeah.
time.
It's unintentionally hilarious and fucking violent
Like
and
the
crazy.
slowest quick draw you've ever seen. Of like,
Yeah. It reminded me of Year of the Gun. I'm sorry, not Year of the Gun, Way of the Gun, where they had that slow-mo car chase where like they force them to slow down in the alley and
Yeah.
like, are they moving the car in neutral with their feet? You dicks. Like it starts to have that kind of shit. Yeah, I mean, it is very Russian. It begs to be remade. It's just the filmmaking sensibility is a bit different.
yeah.
But man, that's a cool movie. T-34 or Iron Fury, whichever you find it called. It's on Peacock.
And we watched one with a very different tone, which was just Fury, not of the Iron variety. I showed Les that because he had not
Yeah.
watched. Because the only David Ayers movie you had watched was fucking like Suicide Squad, I think, right?
Suicide Squad, basically, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's not
Yeah.
fair to air. Like, you should check out at least.
Or actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, he's really good in that movie too. Yeah,
He is really good in Fury. Holy fuck!
I don't think he
man.
needs to smell like that to be that good, but like whatever. Like he didn't bathe during
No,
the shooting of it.
It does suck knowing how weirdly method he is. I think that shit's so dumb, but also, man, his performance is fucking on. So,
I think Bernthal.
but
steals
everybody in that
movie,
movie's great.
though. Whenever he's in it, like fucking as
yeah, there's
coon
other
ass.
less smelly dudes that are also on. So I don't think it's just the not bathing. But yeah, Fury was badass. Brad Pitt, the other Brad Pitt scalping Nazis.
Yeah,
I guess he doesn't scalp them, but he fucking hates them. Yeah, a brutal movie, man.
Yeah, a movie basically without much of a way of a plot until the third act of like finally giving them an objective. Otherwise, the movie really is about, hey, you want to fucking make it through this war? I need you to become a monster and like, fuck it. I don't care if I don't care if their kids are shooting at us. They're shooting at us. You fucking shoot back.
Yeah.
Shoot those like fucking Nazis. Like, well, they're already dead. How do you know that? You a fucking doctor? Shoot those corpses. And really getting you on the side of the crew, being on the side of, come on, guy, like, why are you fucking this up? Like, become a monster, like, kill your humanity. You're gonna get everyone else killed. Which is an interesting. Nah, man, I'm here to kill that guy. He's here to kill me. That's our job. The moral high ground was back home. Like, we're in Germany. Like,
in his own way, like you do get scenes. It is a bit of a long movie, but it really pays off. The scenes like where he tries to have a normal moment with Norman, and like
that is
after it's only after Norman does what he needs to do to keep everybody alive.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, man, now that you've broken off a piece of your soul for the rest of us, I'm gonna go try to have a normal dinner here. You should come with me.
And how the rest of the
like,
crew fucking like
ruins that bubble. Yeah, they're the bubble that keeps you alive, and yet also are fucking horrible. Really good movie. Fury was remarkable. If the Suicide Squad bullshit with David Ayers in the last few years of every time you've ever heard his name has been dumb news, has turned you off, go back and watch this.
Even I'm still not saying don't give me an Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. I don't think that's what I'm looking for either. But
I feel like the same, like so if you hadn't seen Nomadland and you just saw Eternals and you should go back and watch Nomadland. Chloe Zhao is not only Eternals. Yeah.
And then we of course watched Robo Vampire, which
I don't know why I'm cheering that.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm cheering that.
Man, they tinfoiled the shit out of that dude.
So that that's an interesting man. Another interesting addition to the bad movies. Like, there's so many plethora. There's like a spectrum genre of bad movie. Of this one is the type
Yes.
of well, there's two foreign movies that have never been translated. So let's just put those two together, the action bits of both of them, and
Yeah.
God be damned if they don't make
Yeah,
sense together or whatever.
So there's like a spy plot with like decent fake machine guns and blanks and squibs that was shot in Thailand, and that's half the movie, maybe a
Mhm.
third of the movie. And then there's the robot part that is terrible. Like everybody just has like huge tubes on the end of these fake guns with
Yeah.
where you can like see the firecracker inside.
Yeah, the movies
there.
don't even really look the same. Like
No,
one is
no.
one is a darker movie. One is a
Yeah.
prison a prisoner rescue, Dirty Dozen, people die on the mission movie.
And there are, I believe, 2 sequels. They are confusingly named, as is everything about this movie. But there are 2 sequels, so we didn't want to run into a Urban Jaws 2 problem.
Yeah, because we almost
So
watched
we
Robo
watched-
Vampire 3 Counter Danger.
Yes, I think.
Counter Strike?
Yes. No, it's weirder than that.
No, it's
Uh,
nah, Counter Strike makes sense.
Robo Vampire 3 is 2 movies in one. No shit. Counter Destroyer.
Counter Destroyer, that's it.
And then there's Robo Vampire 2, Devil's Dynamite.
Oh, no.
All of these are ostensibly, if you believe the credits, directed by different humans. They are not. They are not.
But they
at
are
all.
okay.
No. I think what the guy's real name was. Godfrey. I can't find it now. The guy is seriously, and that's not even the Edgar Gier wasn't even the name that was on the one we had. Yes, Godfrey Ho. If it's got ninja in it and is really terrible, or is possibly a combination of 2 really terrible movies,
That's
Godfrey Ho did it. Man, the robot leg noises for their robo, there are very few vampires in this movie. The robot leg noises don't match half the time. Like he's moving his knees and like he'll like pick his knee up and
wow, that is so nitpickier in this movie. Then you gotta like that's such the like out of
it just like there's no shits given
all the,
down
out
to
of all the
bone.
problems of this movie, that is
Right.
so
It's
like,
obviously it's the knee noises that are the issue here.
Oh my god.
We're not discussing the plot because there's not one. It's insane.
Which one? There's 2 different ones competing for one another. Like even
Well, there's a
even
lot of
those
ground
they
to
have
set up, man.
redundant
It's a franchise.
even those they have redundant characters. And you know that they
Yes,
can't have the
yes.
2 stories like, well, they're from 2 completely different movies. So the book characters can't meet. So how do they resolve these
No.
2 things? Well, they don't. They just the 2 movies
they
just
don't.
end
They
separately.
just stop talking about a couple of them. Yeah.
Ju-
Yeah, one movie just stops. It's like whoever gets the last word in. Haha, Thai film.
We watched Captain Fall on Netflix.
We did. I
Which
think we watched 3 episodes of it.
yes, and that was yes, we did John Paul. I believe he was the one that suggested that.
Yeah. This is the same writers as Norseman, which I found a lot funnier. This was not even dry or droll. Like that's not the way to describe the humor in this show is strange.
It's quirky. Like some of it, like half of it is a quirky, awkward, oh, I don't know how to say the right thing comedy with Dipper Pines from fucking Gravity Falls. What's that actor's name? I forget.
Jason Ritter.
Jason Ritter. Yeah, his like, oh geez, I'm so incompetent. I can't do anything. Oh boy. Fucking he's one step above Morty. Like
Mm-hmm.
like you expect his fucking voice to crack half the time. Oh boy, I'm just and the rest of it is a kind of like where I find it actually is funny is the dark really dark bleak humor of it.
Oh,
Like
God.
and I got to admit
Yeah.
that part does get me of like every once in a while I'll laugh hysterically when they just they casually human traffic the tribesmen in like a big net and I
It's so dark. It's like they just casually tase 6, 7 children.
yes.
Like,
We watched 2 of them, I believe, and because
yeah, that happens really early on, and I believe Nick specifically said, "Well, they tased kids, so they've got 2 episodes."
well, it was before because I made the promise to God of like, I swear, please, for the love of God, if if you tase all of these children right now, I will give you at least 2 episodes. I will watch the next one. I don't care what happens in this one. Like, just tase these kids. And those kids got tased.
So yeah, then we were on the hook.
And then I think we started the third one. We didn't finish it, but there was like a human zoo that's like really weird. But the premise of the show is basically just a cruise liner is a smuggling ship, and they smuggle drugs or weapons and all this other shit.
People, whatever.
Yeah, and people like just whatever. And their old captain got caught by the feds or whatever, and they need a new captain, a fall guy. And oh my god, we need someone with no qualifications and that will ask no questions. And when you know, it's this Captain Fall is his actual name.
It's it's Hudsucker Proxy for a cartel, basically. What it feels like.
And again, what a weird show to like not get to the premise into the second episode. Like they spend the first episode.
He gets his ship the second episode, right?
Yeah, they spend the first episode just introducing us to fucking the captain Fall or whatever, isn't it? Yeah, Fall, and how pathetic he is, and he doesn't even get onto the ship. He gets the job offer at the end, and I was like, Jesus Christ! I mean, I know I'm just missing inside job, but she fucking went to the Illuminati, Incorporated or whatever it was called, Incognito,
right.
Incognito Inc. was like 5 minutes in. She was already working there. Like we were already
we
were already on her. We're doing it.
there.
We're doing this. And
yeah, I keep wanting him to either be Morty or be Brett Hand from or be something like
it's one thing if he's unconfident, but also he's
gratingly
unskilled.
unconfident. Yeah, that's
you can tell why no one likes
what we
him.
decided. Yeah, there's a confident, skilled cross scale. Like you can't be both.
Yeah. But I think it will tickle some people. Like watching it, I'm like, I'm sure this is going to tickle some people. This is their level of, the reason I don't really like The Office, of like that kind of not so much punchlines, but just awkward kind of talking.
Right. Was that a joke or was that sad?
Was that joke or is that sad? I don't know. Like that's the level of humor going on here, and I'm not a huge fan of that. I prefer more of the what's her name, second in command, burning an entire employment office because someone asked, like, took her picture and was like, oh shit, well,
that's right.
Well, I gotta kill you, and then suddenly someone opens the door, and just people keep coming out.
Man.
How many people are in this office?
Yeah. Those scenes were like every once in a while, like one of those would happen, and like, ah, damn it, I'm gonna finish out this episode then, I guess.
Yeah.
But they weren't quite. They just weren't few.
Yeah, too few and far between, I think. But also I watched some the first episode of Zombieverse, which is a Korean reality show on Netflix.
Yeah, I only marginally paid attention to Zombieverse. That was definitely not for me.
That's a real weird one. That one is shot in a way that would make you think that it is a prank show. Like these people have been brought on for a dating reality show, and then suddenly zombies break out. At first, I was like, "Wait a minute, are they in on it?" They're all running in the same direction. They'd almost have to be, right? And I looked that up, and I'm like, "Yes, they are in on it." It's the Korean zombie version of Murderville, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They're improvising their way into solving zombie puzzles.
There was something about the like anti-chocolate and peanut butter combo of combining like improv and game show. It was like look, we've made a tofurkey entirely out of seaweed. You can't tell. Like I don't want either of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And, like there was something about it that like I couldn't figure out while you were watching it. Of like, man, I see the production value on the zombie stuff, but I am like heels dug in, not plugging into this.
Well, it's a weird thing to pretend. Because they have to pretend not to be in on it, but also it's not scripted.
Right.
So sometimes they just say shit like, wait, why is there a sound guy in here?
Yeah.
And that's
every once in a while
funny.
There's like good moments like that. And then there's sometimes where I can see them like holding fake excitement in case something else happened. Like which is just reality TV stuff that I'm
wondering if I actually can't tell if the language barrier is helping or hurting the show because I can't.
That's true. There's a lot going on and I can't understand it all.
because some of the times I'm laughing because if you think of it as just a reality show where you're solving zombie puzzles, the floor is lava, but it's just an immersive zombie puzzle.
Yeah, I'd be more likely to watch that, like declaring that it is a team.
Yeah, because
and not doing the improv.
they're trying to
over
figure
the
out how to
top of
pump gas, right? And then they realize the
Right.
sound guy's in there so they can measure the sound of what distracts them. And it's like, oh, okay, so they have resources and there's things in there that they have to do, and it's their job to like figure it out. And that seems fun, or at least like it seems like something I would have fun doing. Like if I were to go to a zombie escape room, that would be hopefully what I was doing,
Mhm.
But it does lead to some fun discussions of like, okay, so if I go out there, are you going to close the door on me? No, we'd never do that.
No, we never do that.
and immediately close the door on that guy. It's like, son of, I knew you were going to close the door. Like, just like a thing that the scripted version might not give you of it, of like real people, like, and they're K-pop stars. And I think one of them is a star from one of the other Korean zombie shows on Netflix, the school one. Fuck, what is that one? All of Us Are Dead? All of Us Are Dead. One of them's
That's
from All
the
of Us
one.
Are Dead. And so you get to see like, if you were, I bet you this plays bigger in Korea as that type of, you get to see, oh shit, I know them, like Marshawn Lynch solving a crime.
Mhm.
That novelty that I'm not getting.
Part of the problem for me is I didn't like Murderville, other than Marshawn Lynch being hilarious.
No,
Like I didn't plug into Murderville. I did plug into Physical 100, so I honestly think making this a straight up game show would have worked better for me.
well, yeah, because I think improv sucks, but game shows are better. Like I don't know what like improv seems so try hard, and game shows are fun.
Yeah.
Game shows feel like you're like just casual and like no one's trying so fucking hard to be funny.
Yeah, it's everybody waiting for their best line and it not quite being able to add up because you can't do any long planning because you don't know.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it did make me want to go like shit. If there's a fucking immersive like zombie puzzle room around,
Yeah.
like we should definitely hit it up
Yeah.
at some point because that does look fun.
And it is it's rare to see anything where it's a type of show you've not seen before. And I've straight up not seen that combo of shows. It's just
Oh, no,
weird.
yeah,
Like, there's no way that's not coming to our shores.
it definitely caught it definitely caught my attention for sure.
Yeah, there's no way we're not going to make one of those.
Yeah, well, right. America's definitely gonna remake it at some point. I caught up on What We Do in the Shadows because I was behind on the Colin Robinson's election, which was also I think Nandor getting a new friend.
Yes. He had no idea that there were Jewish people in New York City, and now he has befriended one.
Bashugana.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, God, when he sings the Losing My Religion, but the lyrics wrong to
Oh,
That's Me in the Spotlight at My
in
Circumcision.
little Apaxios or
Fucking-
whatever.
No. When Nandor circumcised himself, or had Guillermo do it,
Oh,
and then it grew back. He flashes the guy in the gym.
yeah. I fucking hate this fucking city. Just
Man, and then Guillermo was slowly turning more and more vampire. I know that's got to be slow because of his vampire hunter bloodline,
I
but
think, but
it seems to be actually still happening though.
and
Like he can't wear crosses now. He's half see-through in mirrors.
well, that was the latest episode, wasn't it? The news episode, the news, the sink pit.
Oh, that's right. The news, yes.
And they're like they can't.
The water main.
Guillermo in that episode is cracking me up. Of just he's not even there, but him seeing it on the news and like I can't leave this house for a fucking second. Like
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine as long as they answer the fucking phone.
I just. And then him
Yeah.
leaving at the end, like, yeah, he's made this tearful goodbye like 3 times in the last couple weeks. Like, he'll be back next week. He's
But when he shows up without a present for his mom's party, like I love any insight into Guillermo's life. I love that his whole family is vampire hunters. His fucking douchebag cousin or uncle
Mhm.
who's like always fucking with him. Yeah, you got to give that up. That's too much screen time, man. You got to give that up. It's unhealthy. Like I did with I kicked the Sierra Mist
Like,
cold
he was
turkey.
Sierra
Right,
Mist. I can't believe
I'm
no
like-
one in the episode ever brought it up to him that Sierra Mist has been discontinued. Like,
right. Like you didn't kick it. It became like, do you have a starry addiction now that you're not? That's different. show's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm still like, I feel like this one is back to a season that doesn't have focus. That's true. It doesn't really have a plot line as far as the previous seasons had very distinctive like vampire council stuff or
Mm-hmm.
whatever they were doing. This one definitely feels like
Back to episodic, other than whatever's happened with Guillermo.
yeah, Guillermo's the only thing that's really carrying forward, other than him and Nandor's relationship, which I can only hope is gonna go the way of Good Omens, and are we gonna finally like just admit y'all are in love or what? Because the parallel they draw with Alexander, his new friend, is so fucking
Well, and they've shown back when he was wishing with the genie and had like when his wife suddenly likes everything he likes, she suddenly or loves everything he loves. She suddenly loves
Guillermo.
Guillermo.
Yeah, which I thought was yeah.
I was like, that's kind of backhanded confirmation. I feel like that he loves him.
But that
Yeah.
we didn't get to go too far with that because I think he turned her into the Guillermo's boyfriend.
Freddie. Yeah, and then Freddie ran off with Freddie.
Dude, what happened to his wife's soul? Like,
She's Freddie.
I know there's
She's
like
just
that's
Freddie
a
now.
deep existential question for a comedy, but seriously, what the fuck happened with his
Yeah,
ancient
deep
wife?
down somewhere, he's Marta.
Yeah, Marta. Oh my god.
It's so weird and dark, man. Like you don't think too
Oh,
much
boy,
about
I
it.
don't
Moving
go
on.
I can't think about that. Which reminds me, I did watch last week. I forgot to mention I watched like the first episode of the Purge show, which is another show of like, oh, yep, the Purge universe only works in movies because you can't think about this for longer than an hour and a half because it'll fall the fuck apart.
Right.
Like it. Well, overseas markets
I have heard.
don't close for the Purge since it's an American thing. So us stockbrokers got to work Purge night. And I was like, wait, what?
I'm wondering if we should skip forward. I've heard season 2 was better than season 1, and that also season 2 deals more expressly with what people would be doing in between purges.
Sure.
Which is honestly, there's nothing else to do except think about the next purge because, like, holy God.
Yeah, you're like half your
there's
year.
one day a year where
half
the
your
shit
year
hits the
would be
fan
cleaning up after the previous purge,
Right.
And then the other half would be preparing for the next purge. Like
it's capitalism, but one day every year somebody flips the board.
Is your entire economy now based on the purge so much that you can't get rid of
Basically,
it? Is that why you can't
be.
get rid of it? Like what the fuck? And then
actually, God, that's more believable.
And they keep having it try to have it both ways of like the demand for the purge is the highest it's ever been, but the purge prequel.
But also, we're paying people to purge.
Are paying to purge because the demand isn't there. Like it fucking, they're so fast and loose.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched a little bit of Lake Placid versus Anaconda because you said I had to at least watch the beginning of that.
Yeah.
And wow, they have a weird overdubbing of this doctor in the first part of this.
It's just stock video.
Well,
and like a multiple people conversation.
Yeah, and it keeps cutting to him. Like some of it's off screen, but some of it is on screen. I'm like, you are not the one speaking. You are what a completely different human is speaking your lines. What the fuck is happening? It was bizarre. Yeah. Also, you got to see people of like, I'm looking to like those. I need you to find those baby crococondas now, because the movie starts with impregnating 2 pythons with crocodile eggs. Of like, oh, that feels like sequel shit, but we're gonna start there.
While Robert Englund just has a beer in the corner.
Sure.
Like you do. It's like when Brad Dourif's just like, am I not in this? Oh.
Yeah, did anything I left off or
let's see. Well, I watched The Meg because Sunday we went and saw Meg 2.
Oh, right.
Which if we don't discuss on a future Patreon, I'd be surprised. I did not enjoy The Meg 2 as much as the original Meg. The original Meg is better. The weirdest thing to me though is Meg 2 is directed by Ben Wheatley, who is a director with a lot of style.
Mm-hmm.
None of which, not an atom of it, made it into this movie. Like, there's nothing to tell that his fingerprints are on this at all. It is a weird, comical, violent as fuck. Like, it really fun, but also just
It is.
weird
It's
movie.
also all over the place.
All over the
Like
place.
like plot elements drop
It doesn't
in and
really
out.
like the movie I want is the third act.
Yeah.
And the movie before that isn't bad, but it's just not what I was there for. And it just like literally it kicks in as it's starting to wear out its welcome. Like Nick, I think you said like you had the less moment of
Yep.
being in a theater and looking at your watch and going, fuck,
Hey,
I know what we have to do
we're-
story wise to get out of here. So we've got
Hey, we're an
30
hour
or
and a half
40
in
minutes
here,
left.
and we haven't made it out of the trench yet. And I know there's a motherfucking bit of this that's not in the trench.
Right. There's stuff in the trailer I haven't seen happen yet. Fuck. Yeah. It was fun. If you liked the original Meg, I think you'll enjoy it. I've seen other reviews online that definitely enjoyed it more than me. Maybe they don't watch the fucking volume of shark movies that we do. That said, the original's better. You can also just watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We watched, of course, Harley Quinn, My Adventures with Superman. I watched the latest episode of Minx, which that show is finally on all cylinders and just gets better and better. There's some shit about to happen. I feel like on this show that I'm going to put a fist in the air. Side characters really getting their arc this season. Just cool shit going on at Minx.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 episodes have been their best 2 by far. Then, surprisingly, found a show on Hulu that I had heard good stuff, had not paid attention to because I thought it was very Adam McKay looking.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was going to annoy me on the shooting style. Winning Time, the story of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Which
dynasty.
I think is an HBO Max show that's just we're watching it through Hulu.
We are watching through Hulu. It's got HBO on the bottom corner.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they dropped some money on this. I mean, John C. Reilly, Sally Field, the cast in it's Gabby Hoffman, Jason Clark. The cast in it's absolutely insane. Also, I watched White House Down, which also has Jason Clark in it. That dude's face is just strange looking to me. So John C. Reilly plays Jerry Buss, crazy real estate dude that buys the Los Angeles Lakers when they really aren't shit, and then drafts Magic Johnson immediately,
Mm-hmm.
and they win the fucking championship that year. And so the first season is the story of that, and they've got 1 episode out now of season 2, which immediately jumps to the next year of them trying to do it again. And as Adrian Brody, as Pat Riley puts it, like the problem with this is that everyone you knocked out of the tournament early last year went home, rested up, and did nothing but think about how to beat you doing whatever you were just doing. So whatever worked last year should not work this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've got to change up what they're doing. And it makes for, I mean, it's how the whole new season works. And also it's a show not about winning 1 ring. It's a show about the story of the dynasty. So it's about them doing it over and over.
Yeah, I like one of my
Incredibly
moments I
fun
liked the
show.
most about it was where John C. Reilly's character Bus is talking to Michael Chiklis as the Boston owner
Of the Celtics. Yeah.
and he's like, "Yeah, you're right. I was missing something. I'm gonna eat your fucking heart. I'm gonna beat you, and then I'm gonna beat the next 3 you that come along." Like the whole dynasty element of like, this is my, or no, that was Chiklis's line was, "This is my decade."
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And like, no, I'm not just going to beat you. I'm going to beat everyone after you until you're lost to history.
until no one remembers you.
Yeah. It is brutal.
Great casting for Larry Bird.
The show
too.
has a lot of, oh my God. Yeah. The kid is just amazing.
What'd you eat before the game?
I don't think you got to see the final one where the Lakers actually play in the final, like win the final. They were against Philadelphia. And, so Larry Bird's sitting at home watching it like everybody else.
That's a great. Also, you
And,
can't obviously they're going off of history. So and then the Celtics didn't make it to the end round. Like shit. Well,
Yeah.
So you don't have your final face off with Chiklis or Bird. Like that's.
Well, and they even have a moment kind of in Magic's head of like, it doesn't like of Bird kind of appearing to him of like, it don't mean
fucking
shit.
next
It wasn't
year.
against me. But I think like Bird's brother or cousin or cousin or whatever the fuck's going on in French Lake.
He is a redneck
looks
son of a
over at-
bitch. Like
Man,
this place
looks
ain't got
over at
any
him and it's
bud.
like, man, they ain't gonna do it. And man, without missing or whatever, just something ball game related, like, yeah, let's go. And Larry Bird, without missing a beat, shut the fuck up. Like, what, man? He's there and I ain't. And like you could tell it's like, do not speak for the rest of this game.
Yeah, don't.
It's
There's no right thing you could say.
man, the whole show, the casting's fucking spot on. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the kid playing Magic Johnson's fantastic. Everybody involved is great. Adrian Brody is surprisingly good, and Jason Segel is infuriating but good.
Well, Jason Segel is playing just this knockdown character that gets fucking
Oh, he's so
shit
milquetoast.
on the entire time. And Pat Riley is the only guy that believes in him. Like,
Right, but Pat has no power.
but
It's just
but
like
Pat's the
Pat
fucking
yelling at him of like, "I'm on your coattails, you fuck."
yeah, like I'm trying to ride your coattails. I can't do that if you're fucking like if you're down in the dumps here. And Adrian Brody playing Pat Riley, of course, of like, well, can
Yep.
I be your announcer? And if you know anything of like you were going in history of like, well, I don't know exactly how A gets to be here, but
But I know you don't stay
like
an
I don't
announcer.
know, I know that's not what you're doing here.
Yeah. Yeah, and the whole show is shot with a crazy amount of style. Like they flip between like VHS camcorder.
That doesn't
feel
annoy
and-
me as much
and
as I
old
like.
Super 8
I
film.
thought that would
And
get that would fucking get on my
I
nerves.
thought it bugged the shit out of
But it
me,
doesn't.
and I love it. I really I don't love it in every show. I don't want it everywhere. But for this show, man, it feels like watching old game footage on a shitty TV.
Yeah,
It's wild. It gives it a wild period effect. It's really
yeah.
great.
It really gives it a.
It would not work on Stranger Things.
Yeah.
But
It's a
but
it's a
for this, it's
grimier
perfect.
80s.
And it feels sports
Yeah.
to me somehow. Like it feels like sports. It's really working. I'm loving Winning Time. It's absolutely, if you're jonesing for the next Minx episode, here's your other show that's dropping week to week right now. I think that's about all we watched. Oh, Randy did text me since he couldn't be here, a list of stuff that he'd watched, and I was amazed. He's going back and watching through some of our recommendations, and I was really shocked how much Randy loved not the Puppet Master franchise. We're never going to win him over on that, but Doll Man. Randy texted me to say how much he loved Doll Man, how much he loved Demonic Toys, and
Well, obviously.
yeah, just and he's really coming around on Gerard Butler. I was
Demonic
surprised.
Toys, not Demonic
He-
Toys 2, obviously. Randy has taste.
No, I mean, come on, Randy's got taste. But yeah, I was as shocked as anybody when he messaged how much he loved all of those things, and Gerard Butler in particular. Said, in fact,
Did he mention who his favorite
gonna read
puppet
the
is? I bet you he's a pinhead guy.
No.
He's a pinhead guy.
It would think. I was surprised. I'm gonna have to read the text here because
You better not be a blade man, Randy, you basic bitch.
He said, if and when they reboot Terriers, Gerard Butler is my pick to take over for Donald Logue.
That's not bad.
I was shocked.
No, I get it.
I was shocked. So yeah, we'll have to ask Randy about that next week.
That's Randy's official TV Diaries.
Yes,
Or-
that's officially what he watched this past week. Yeah. Also some magic swords, I think he said. He's really getting into magic swords. This week, that's now would be the time of the show when I should remind everybody to give us money for dumb things like this. You can support us over at patreon.com for about the same amount of money as it would take to say one of those black and white dogs that Sarah McLachlan used to sing about. You could instead pay to hear us talk about movies and shows and all sorts of stuff. Pretty soon we're going to make Randy watch as much of Critters 3 as he'll sit through. We've been watching a bunch of Leonardo DiCaprio movies, which is tangentially how we got Critters 3 on the list. This week, Nick and I are going to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem.
Another Leonardo leads, just a different lead.
Yes. So you can keep using the same song. It's great. And yeah, you can take care of that over at patreon.com/tvdudes. It's seriously $1 an episode. You really make a difference in keeping this show going and why we don't have to, hawk mattresses or recruiters or whatever the shit. So this week's actual main course is a show that I cannot believe existed in the first place, and I can't believe got a season 2. And I'm thrilled exists because it's just a charming breath of fresh Britishy air. Good Omens over on Amazon. So Nick, had you ever read this book?
Oh.
I know Randy's not a huge Neil Gaiman fan, but
No, I honestly Neil Gaiman I much know more from Sandman and other I think there was like other short films and stuff like that were uh, Gaiman inspired and stuff like that. I'm aware of him. I don't think I've ever read a full Gaiman book cover to cover.
Yeah, if I remember right, he wrote the script, the US script for Mononoke back in the day.
Oh,
And I think that was a lot of non-comic nerds probably first
mhm. That
introduction to
actually
his
makes
writing.
sense. Now, what I'm remembering of Mononoke, that actually tracks. The Good Omens book, I have no idea how faithful that first season is to that book.
Yeah, it's been a while. I
But I'm
honestly
pretty
cannot
sure
remember.
that this season is basically all on its own. I don't think there's really any source material they're drawing from uh book-wise. I don't think. But I could be wrong on that. What was interesting about this season versus the last season was how the structure is completely different. What the first season was of Aziraphale and Crowley and the two angel and demon teaming up to stop the apocalypse, while the witch hunter and the fortune teller tried to stop it from another angle, while the apocalypse was being caused by the kids from Stranger Things that are but British. And there's like three distinct different storylines going on at once that we jump back and forth from, is not really here. It is Crowley and Aziraphale's show. It is David Tennant and Michael Sheen's fucking show, and I think better for it. I really, by the end of it, I like this season more than season 1, I think, because season 1 had a stronger plot going forward, like, it was, like, actual forward momentum, but this one is all about
Yeah.
relationships and, where it goes with, like, even the one that I wasn't really sure about, the Nina and Maggie story comes around at the end of being just a reflection of, Crowley and Aziraphale's story.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the one that was the only relationship that really it didn't fall flat. I love Maggie. She's super
I was just
charming.
wondering where it was going for a while.
Yeah, I didn't quite. That was the only misstep this season, and it still came around great for me. I'm with you. Like the first season felt like it had a plot. It was more going on somehow.
Yeah, well, it had a very
And yet this season I enjoyed
from the
more.
jump, it was the Armageddon, the fucking demons and angels both tell you the same plan for it, and everyone's on board for it except for a couple characters that we watch try and stop it. And that's the plot going forward. And
Yeah.
this one is much more mysterious, with John Hamm's Gabriel shows up at the bookshop naked and can't remember shit. And now we're trying to figure out why, while trying to protect him from alien angels and demons alike.
Last season I felt like I wanted it to always be Crowley and Aziraphale. And occasionally we go off to the witch hunter general, and like those were fine subplots, but none of them worked as well for me as the core of the show. And like you said, this time, even as we go off with other people, it's really still either Mr. Fell or Crowley is with whoever.
Yeah.
Like almost every time.
Yeah.
Like they're almost always there. And when they're not, it's usually John hamming it up.
My God, John Hamm is such a treasure.
His memoryless Gabriel trying to not even trying to remember who he is.
He was funny
like,
as an arrogant angel in the
trying.
first season that didn't quite get how the world
Right.
works. And he's like really not understanding anything. Like it gets established pretty early that because he's in this new earthly body, he can't bring like his memory with him or whatever. Like it doesn't fit in there anymore, is what he says. So he can only has like bits and pieces and stuff. And so it's a big mystery as to why he's there. There's a great bit with that kicks off the mystery with a matchbook left in heaven, which I thought was a great, and they explain it in the finale too, but I thought initially was just a great, how can you tell an object doesn't belong in heaven? It's like, well,
it's an object.
Well, one, it's an object. They're like, you found a material object in heaven. Like they just don't have objects. But also it's matches. Like out of all the things that are like, nah, that
right.
Okay, so they're not lighting shit up in heaven. Like it's not fucking, they're not burning shit down in heaven. Like
And so, Randy, this is the point where you should stop watching because you have to finish out Good Omens.
Yes.
And I think you'll love the end of it. And I don't want to spoil it for you. Okay, now that Randy's gone, I love that he kept matches as his reminder of his
Yeah.
time with the demon that he isn't supposed to be hanging
Mhm.
out with. That the whole show is all like this season is all like relationships on relationships, and whether you can and whether you've said anything, whether the other person will require, whether it's requited.
Well, I love the fact that when you find out that you think, okay, so John Hamm's character Gabriel was meeting with someone at this bar secretly, and you're like, oh shit, is Armageddon like back on, or he's making backroom deals with another angel or a demon to like get, but it's this whole season actually is more of a stopgap of two characters, completely other thing happening that basically just two characters going through a microcosm of the Crowley and Aziraphale relationship of realizing that their jobs are kind of dumb and the war between heaven and hell kind of fucking doesn't matter. Like,
Like, do you want to go through that again?
I don't know, man.
I mean, we totally won. No, we totally won. Yeah, okay, but okay.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree, but neither of us want to do it again, right?
Like I was saying, I like to think that it just takes some time down in a neutral zone, and I think any demon or angel might be able to figure out that just time away from your side of things should be able to tell you that wait, are heaven and hell kind of just fucking babies about bureaucracy and who is in charge of what, and like does none of this really even make any sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I loved the dogma-ness of like the piss take on all of it.
Yeah, and I think this season is not narrated by God like the first season was, which doesn't mean you don't get to hear God. God does have a cameo in the story of Job, which they go back and tell, which is one of the
Yes.
better episodes, I believe, of the story of Job and how Aziraphale and Crowley handle Job's kids.
Yes. These are totally new kids. No, they
Whoa,
look a
I'm
lot
pretty
like his
sure
old
they're fond
kids.
of the old
What
one.
luck is that? Yeah.
They're tricking, and just the idea of tricking angels because angels are so guileless children. Like they're so easily chumped because they don't understand how humans or anything really works that's outside of heaven.
Yeah, well, except there's one angel, I think, Gabriel, who was present at
Yes.
the making of Eve,
It's like,
and so he's the
oh,
only
yeah.
one who thinks he's witnessed a birth.
but he's like, oh yeah, they can come out any size.
Yeah, so yeah, no, you got to take one of the ribs, and yeah, no, they can come out any size. Yeah, like fully clothed. Oh yeah, yeah.
Like they're so easily manipulated, and just the God talking when Job and God talk. I love that God comes off as a pissy child. He's telling off Job like, "Oh, Job, you got some questions for me? Oh, okay. Job, let me ask you this. What do you think about whales?" Like, he just starts asking,
Can you make
"Can
a
you
whale?
make a whale? How about this, Job? Can you fucking make the sky? Can you make a cloud? Like, just all this stuff. Like,
You make a whale, and then maybe I'll answer.
and then maybe I'll answer one of your
questions.
stupid fucking questions, Job. Like, just shut up and worship me."
Like when Job staggers back into the house and like, well, what did God say? A lot about
I mean,
whales.
a lot about more than you'd
like
expect.
a weird amount about whales. Really proud of
Like,
whales.
what's a whale? I don't know. We live in the desert.
Don't know.
Like, but I think it boiled
It is
down
the
to
year
come back to me when you
500.
can make a whale. Like,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to get a season 3, but they definitely leave it. They both give me the actual saying our feels to each other kiss moment that I wanted between Aziraphale
Yeah.
and Crowley, but also break it in a way that I'm not CW mad at it, and I really want
would've
there to be
been
a season 3 to see them.
so mad because they had an opportunity to do it because they were gonna stop with I need to tell you something. No, my thing first. And then Aziraphale offers them the deal of like, hey, you can come back and be an angel again and we can be together and blah blah blah. And I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah, they had the chance for Crowley to be like,
oh,
never mind
what I was gonna
nothing's not
say.
important now."
And instead, I love the fact that he goes, you know what? Fuck you. I'm still gonna say what I gotta say.
Yeah, I'm saying it for me.
Like, we could have been us, which is a great line. And then for after the
Mhm.
kiss, when Aziraphale goes, I forgive you, I was straight up mad at him. I was like,
Right.
fuck you, dude.
And it was both what Aziraphale would
Yeah.
say and also gives a great, like, okay, then that kiss didn't do what I wanted, and this gives me the final, like, I'm storming
Yeah.
out. We're not talking for maybe
Don't
80 years.
no, don't
100
don't
years.
bother. Don't forgive me. I didn't do shit wrong.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Brutal and sad and brilliant and good, and I just cheered
Yeah.
for the stupid kid. Like, oh god damn it. That show really caught me off guard, and they did it in 6 episodes.
They even made me feel for John Hamm's relationship with Beelzebub,
Oh my god.
which of like
Yeah. How did I actually buy that? It's amazing.
the two celestial beings, and like here's a matchbook. There's like here's this fly that you can store stuff in it. I don't know what to say. Like, what do you mean? No one's ever given me
Is there-
anything.
Well, in the wherever Bizzlebub is my heaven.
Yeah.
It's
That's-
like, and wherever he is my
It's
hell.
a fucking
like, oh,
it's adorable. It makes the
like, you know, you won't be able to come back. Yes,
that would be the point. Man, Gabriel immediately turns back into kind of a dick. Like, yes, that would be
Apocalypse.
the point. I'm a nah.
Nah.
What? Amen. Amen.
Yeah, I'm a nah.
Nah.
Like, never a no. He never just like, no, I'm a
I'm
nah.
a nah.
Nah. Like, apocalypse.
Can I ask
Nah.
why? Oh, sure. I mean, I'm an
Yeah.
archangel or whatever, so I'm not going to answer you, but you can knock yourself out asking.
Yeah, have fun with that. Doesn't bug me a bit. Very gracious. Allow you to ask.
Also,
Yeah.
a good way to like, they don't quite violate the rule of bringing in a new character at the very end, Metron, because they show him for a minute in the trial,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of get an idea of what like his role is beforehand, and then he kind of introduces him as the new antagonist. It seems like of season 3 if they get it, because I wasn't really sure about him. Like, he seemed cool for a while up until the very end. I'm like, oh, you're actually
No, man.
you're the angel.
He's still gonna unleash dinosaurs.
You're the angel that
Yeah.
actually knows how to trick people. You're the dangerous one.
Yeah.
You're like
Yeah.
he's the Crowley of heaven. Like, he's devious.
Yeah, he's actually got fucking schemes. Because that's the brilliance of heaven. They're all powerful, but they have no scheme.
no,
Like, they have
no,
no
they
guile.
are. Yeah. Oh,
Muriel steals the show for me.
oh, yeah. Oh, well, I don't know if this helps, but the demon and the angel, they had a secret meeting. Oh, great. What did they say?
What did they
well,
say?
I didn't listen. It was private. Motherfucker.
that was private. Like, but you're a real cop, right? Yes, I am a human officer of the law. Great, then arrest me. That is something
Yep,
I
I
guess
can't
I have to
do.
do then.
Are you tricking me? You're the one arresting me. How could I be tricking you?
Fair point. Like, the stupid is so sweet. Like, I want her to star in a Kimmy Schmidt remake or something. Like, she's fantastic.
Yeah, when you realize that Aziraphale is actually one of the more clever angels, that, is like, oh god, that's so sad. Like, you're also easily duped.
Well, I highly recommend everybody go out and watch both seasons
Oh,
of Good
absolutely.
Omens, particularly season 2. It's absolutely charming.
Yeah. If your only problem with season 1 was not enough David Tennant and Michael Sheen, season 2 has got you covered, baby.
Right, has got you covered. Absolutely. Add in some ham in that sandwich, and very good. So then that brings us to dessert. What do you want to start with? We had My Adventures of Superman. We have Harley Quinn.
We can start with
We did not watch Justified
let's
this week, but
let's go with My Adventures of Superman, because we got to see fucking French gorillas, baby.
oh man,
Semontier Mala
I
and the
absolutely-
brain.
This episode did so much. Like, we'd all wondered how they were going to move on with Lois knowing the big secret. They've come through with that so quick. And yeah, they just barrel on through with it. I love Jimmy always having known. Like, dude, you literally, you didn't just tear a doorknob off. You broke it in half the day you moved in.
You blamed it on the nails. Could have been the nails.
It could have been the
Could have
screws.
been the screws.
Yeah, I loved that.
Also,
I
like
loved
the
Mature Mala
immediate
the
getting back
brain were-
together of Lois and Clark.
Yeah,
They're holding hands by the end of it. Like,
yeah, working through it. Them the facility they break into, you don't find out what it is until the end, but they have like a red light dome going over the whole thing, and his powers start glitching. It's red sun
Yeah.
energy. And it starts to glitch his powers, and he doesn't know what's happening to him, but he knows his powers are malfunctioning, and it makes stuff like him diving in front of a bullet
Yeah.
or a laser
the
gun
turret thing, because he doesn't.
for Lois.
Right. Because even to like say he doesn't know if he's bulletproof, and even if he was bulletproof, he doesn't know exactly what the fuck that gun shoots.
Yeah.
So that's
And his shit's glitching.
yeah. So
Yeah.
he really is the Superman move of like, no, I just know that. Like, how did you know you were bulletproof? No, I didn't. I just knew you weren't.
This also reveals that like the security tech and stuff that reacts is not Monsieur Mala and Brain's tech.
Yeah.
It's part of what was given whatever the weird stuff from Argus was.
Mhm.
This is Cadmus Labs. This introduces that. But also all of that stuff reacts to Clark. And they pointed out of like, look, kid, I don't know where you are, where you're from, but all that tech reacts to you.
Yeah, you're the common denominator here.
Yeah.
Also, I love this
So, like,
take
they're
on
building
Monsieur
more and
Mala
more.
and the brain is pretty sweet.
Oh man, I loved it. I loved it. And I don't, man, I'm sure there's probably somebody mad somewhere, but my God, they're the most adorable couple. And they get the sweetest send off at the end. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I was so happy for them.
Well, do you want to come with me? Like, it's almost the future I am, and like want to go around again. Like,
right.
aw,
That's exactly how it felt. Yes. Yes. Let's go explore worlds
Yeah,
together, my sweet.
my
Yeah.
sweet.
It was so good. So good. As always, the animation remains fucking fantastic. I really enjoy the style. I enjoy the writing. I want more of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I believe next week is Mr.
Mr. and Mrs.
Mixel
Yeah. That'll be an interesting one. Because
Yeah.
most of these have gone right through plot. Like none of them have been very superfluous. When I would think a Mr. Mitsaplik episode would be like a timeout, like from plot of like, okay, well, whatever,
Right, like a one-off.
it's just gonna be a one-off. But this show hasn't really been doing that a lot. So I'm
No.
wondering if we're actually gonna get bigger lore drops and stuff going forward.
Right. Is this like the extra dimensional imp gonna somehow actually like game change something?
Oh man, I would love.
Which would be cool.
What if he's a refuge from Krypton, like from a Kryptonian war, like a refuge from Krypton invaded his other dimension, or
something? Yeah. I'm wondering if they
maybe they
'cause I'm
rework
really
his
wondering if they're
origin
gonna
to
tie it
where
in, 'cause
he's
they've not done standoff or standalone.
maybe they rework his origin to where he's actually from the Phantom Zone or something like that, and he's a refugee, like and it's like fuck Superman, another Kryptonian. He like I don't know,
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm eager to see whatever they do. Like, honestly, the show has earned so much grace from me, just in speed. It's moving through plot, just fearlessness of its relationships, and also that they've got a really solid, sweethearted take on everybody.
oh yeah, absolutely love the full-throated like
Jimmy being right about everything. Him getting to walk through a lab of like, knew it,
yep
knew it.
right about that. Like, do you not care you're about to die? Not that I'm right.
Nope, because I'm dying at the hands of a French super intelligent gorilla, and that means I was right.
Weird
And
take.
my friends can suck it. Yeah, loving that. On the other end of though they're both coming on HBO Max, and I think they're both Adult Swim produced, the other end of the tone spectrum, Harley Quinn. I feel like I contain multitudes that I like both these shows, and I love it. They're both flawless takes on their character they should never meet.
Yeah.
So Harley Quinn this week goes to the moon. Was this the what you're going to be the only person to come back from a business conference without chlamydia?
Mhm,
Sure.
Yeah. Watch out for those Thanagarians. They
Olga.
oh, quick, let me get
All got
let me get a
chlamydia.
picture with the spaceship that looks like a dick. Why does it have pubes?
No, the hair.
No, those are the wiring. They have to be overlayered like that.
So fucking bad.
Otherwise, the balls. When I
Oh,
mean
yeah.
the orbs. Oh!
The orbs. Yeah, Lex's absolute dick ship.
Oh man,
And
the
then his
sky's
whole
gonna get
moon-based
pregnant
thing.
tonight.
Oh yeah, when it leaves them in chemtrail. Oh my god. Yeah, this show is fucking hilarious. Having a whole villain con, Malcon. That's what it is.
Also, the low key stuff of Clark is there to report on it, right? And then Clark can't figure out why, like, cause he drinks coffee and suddenly coffee is making him jittery. Like, There's little things that he's never experienced
Like you
before.
see his pupils drop to a
Like,
pinhole, like woo!
And just little things of like things that shouldn't be affecting Soups. And then later at the end of the episode, like, the in Red Sunfield is done. He's like, that makes sense. Yep.
Oh no, I think Lex like puts kryptonite in the air.
No, it's lined
like
with
a low
kryptonite. The
percentage
entire
of-
dome is lined with kryptonite.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
That tracks. Yep.
That's it. Yep. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not just the deep cuts and characters that you have to look up, like to believe they're fucking real.
Dude, Talia al Ghul and Lex Luthor paying two people to have sex, have surrogate sex for them, is funny enough on its own. But the fact that Lex Luthor cannot keep it up if the guy is not wearing a Superman cape is like,
right?
No, put it. It chafes. I don't care. You put it on.
I don't care. You put it on.
Never mind. The moment's ruined.
Not paying you to do it without the. Yeah, this show just remains like it's as good as the Batman doesn't eat pussy thing. Like every time that they just decide to go straight at somebody, either Nightwing's ass.
Well, also
or,
it makes people look good.
Now
This
Lex
is the
with
best
Superman cape.
Steppenwolf has ever been, has ever looked or been portrayed. Like,
yeah, of course, at a villain con, Steppenwolf is the chief villain that everybody wants FaceTime with.
yeah,
And yeah, and then Ivy upstaging, is just fucking great.
yeah, her doing all the panels and knocking out her voice.
When Lex tells her to save her voice the entire time for her 45-second intro of him, and then she really does knock her voice out before. Yeah.
And then, of course, you got on Harley's side of stuff is the Bat family has now been cut off from their allowances, basically, by Mom. Talia al Ghul has taken away their gadgets and shit to liquidate, to get Wayne Enterprise in the black.
It's hilarious to me that the Bat family is basically useless.
Without gadgets.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't been trained by one of the best martial artists in the world. Like,
right. But it's like at this point they've so reliant on their toys they keep forgetting the like, oh wait, I don't have my throwing stars. Shit.
And then you got here, Harley is just going to town with people with a bat and just
right. Like, no, anything's a weapon.
Yeah, I love this the Swedish couple that they have to defeat in order to
oh yeah, they Airbnb out the Batman
to get their groove on, like family team building wise. Alfred's quick cameo at the with the white collar wine booth.
Yes. Making various toilet wines at Malcolm.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just so many like
this show is just deep cut after deep cut, and yet the A plots are funny as shit.
Well, yeah,
too.
well, it's
absolutely love
of
it.
like leave no stone left unturned. Like any background gag, like we were looking at the merch booths, like trying to see them all. Of like Gorilla Grodd was selling mind palaces or mind control machines, and like I love the idea that everyone, all the villains you see have side hustles to fund their supervillainy.
Yeah.
Like they're actually like they have a line of stuff that they sell. Like
like somewhere Penguin's got a booth of just conversion kits to turn your guns into umbrellas.
Yeah,
that nobody else wants because they're just
fucking killer. Like what was it? No.
Oh yeah, Killer Frost.
It wasn't Killer Frost. I think it was Lightning. It was
oh no, Livewire. Yes,
like Livewire was selling golf clubs or something that had electroshock shit on it.
Livewire
Like,
selling electric.
Like it was insane. I just love the idea that there's a whole economy around villain convention shit, and so that you can fund the rest of your supervillainy for the year.
Yeah. It also seems like now that they are going. It seems like Joker's slipping back into Joker.
God, I hope that's just because. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking, Les. What we saw was the park on fire, right? So what I'm hoping is that he just got mad at Ivy's permits for the trees in the park and just started to burn them down. Yeah, because I gotta say,
I'm hoping they don't go fully back.
Because I gotta say, him coming back to a life of crime feels like stepping back and feels like cowardice, which is something this show does not really do. Because I'm like, I don't know, man. One of the greatest things I've ever seen done with the Joker is Joker applying supervillainy to the PTA meeting of his kid of being a supervillain while also being a stepdad without losing the two. is hilarious. Like, and him being mayor and a good mayor while being Joker still is pretty funny.
While still being Joker. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like going back on it now would be, what's the point? Why, to go back to him being an
Yeah.
antagonist? I'm hoping maybe.
Yeah, no, I really hope that they leave it alone and leave him
I'm
mayor,
hoping he
or
he
go
gets
forward with it. Not
maybe he
back.
has a lapse, and then him and Ivy have to fight it out over, and then maybe Ivy has to learn like a work home balance lesson next episode from him. We haven't seen his kids or his girlfriend in a minute either. Benicio, Soph, and what is her name? Bethany? No.
I can't remember.
But yeah, I only hope, I can only hope it doesn't go back on its.
Yeah, I really hope they just keep moving forward with it.
Yeah, if don't have him go backwards, go forwards. If he's not going to be mayor anymore, fine, but have him do something new, something different.
And so our last dessert of the evening is going to be the after party, which got around finally to Tiffany Haddish's episode, where we got to see kind of I was not expecting it to be this steamy, but of course it is. It's like a
Unsurprisingly,
90s,
the horniest
silk
episode.
stockings. Yeah, it's a Shannon Tweed detective story, damn near. Like, it's her and Michael Ealy just having weird sex.
So I'm not saying that. No, she definitely hooked up with him for sure. They definitely flirted for sure. I don't think he said exactly those things.
Yeah, like with every episode, you know that somebody's exaggerating here.
I'm
and
like
there.
a pyromaniac,
And-
but for sex. Okay, he's a therapist. He would definitely know the word nymphomaniac. I don't think he said that. Shut up, I'm telling the story.
Oh God, that all of their sex scenes are like just food, like just smearing food on each other. And yet it's
starts
somehow
to get to spaghetti and just
like the
leftovers.
dirtiest sex scene.
Bleh.
Yeah, it's so
I don't like
weird.
it.
And I love.
I need you to smack my
just
titty.
constantly like,
You want me to
you want
strike
me to
your
slap you in the upper pectoral.
Slap my titty.
One titty likes the slap, or no,
Likes the wax.
one titty likes the smacks.
The
other one likes the wax. Oh my God! And then Neek just like, I think I'm done. I think I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
What? I'm just getting to the good part.
And
This
in the
is the
meantime, we
short
also
version?
We watched Stingray
Microdose
poison himself.
on the devil's trumpet.
Man, according to Red Pill 69 on Reddit, I made it just right. Because he's trying to prove that anybody could have made the poison off of, just out of one of the centerpieces.
Yeah.
And he absolutely proves
Yeah,
that.
tea, all you need is hot tea. Hot water, hot water and the flour and a teapot. That's what you need.
And he does successfully absolutely prove that, but he does it by just damn near killing himself. He trips his balls in a bunch of steampunk nonsense
Bunch of
for the
Volcath bike
episode,
or whatever
which
the
is
fuck he
hilarious.
was talking about.
A velo
Bike.
yes. The velocycle.
Velocycle?
Or whatever the
I
fuck
don't
he's
know what
talking about. As he's just talking weird steampunk shit on the Zeppelin. And then of course we get another information drop reveal where we find out that after finding out that anybody could have made it with a teapot, some water, she suddenly runs off to the murder
room, which has a teapot in it.
Which has it and hides
it. And at that point, I'm like, okay.
Hiding it because she did something, hiding it because she thinks Grace did
I feel
something.
like Zoe is now on the sort of team, because last episode it ended with her watching Grace and what's her name? The adopted daughter adopted.
Is it Hannah?
That sounds close-ish. But with them, I didn't tell them everything. She caught that moment. And
right.
So now I feel like I think Zoe's starting to get on board with, okay, my sister might have done it, and I think she's into covering for Grace now. I think she's ready to
That's what I feel like happening. I think we're meant to think that maybe Zoe did something, but I think she's hiding that because and it may not even be because Grace did anything with the teapot, but just hiding it because oh shit.
I think Zoe is starting to as much as she's yelling at Anik for not don't investigate my family. We're trying to prove Grace didn't do it. I'm pretty sure Zoe is starting to think Grace might have maybe not did it, but is trying to protect her from herself. Because otherwise why you'd want to grab it and prove that it didn't have like or help the investigation. Like, why hide it? Also, the mom came in and seems like she caught somebody in the closet,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if she looks like the door was closed after she came out. I feel like she was having sex in that closet as Zoe was leaving with whoever was in there. But I don't know. I could be
Ooh,
wrong.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, I had bet that the mom was going to be the wax pour, and it wasn't. It's Tiffany Haddish in the trailer. I mean, in the opening
Right.
credits. But just like last season, every single episode of this is a fucking treasure. I'm so glad Elizabeth Perkins is having her spectacular year.
Paul Shear as the
with this and
arsonist
Minx.
is pretty fun.
Oh yes,
Also,
yes. Oh my
cameo-
god, Paul Shear describing fire is so awkward.
cameo from Wyatt.
Yes.
Who they call
Walt.
Wayne or Walt. Like, I can't remember his name. They call him Wayne in on the karaoke, and he comes up. I was like, oh my god.
And I'm dying to know what song it is he's singing. It sounds weird. You get like 2 lines of lyrics. and
Oh,
it's
I
very
don't know. I
strange.
actually didn't recognize it. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I didn't either. First I was like, is that a Savior song or what?
I'm not
But
sure if I don't know.
think
He was even if it was something I don't think he was singing in a way I might have recognized.
No.
I don't know if he was exactly on beat.
Yeah, I'm loving the little like kind of cameo drops, like passing up Ben Schwartz in the prison last
Yeah.
episode or episode 4.
Paul Shear doing the karaoke as his new passion. Like, he doesn't set fires anymore.
Yes.
He's now his new passion to karaoke.
Well-
What's his go-to? William Joel. Like, he said, don't even say Billy Joel. He said William Joel's "Don't Start the
Yes,
Fire."
William Joel. We didn't start the fire. Yeah. I'm going down to Sing Sing to see a patient. At the prison? No, the karaoke
Sing
bar.
Sing. It's a
Oh, they've run that joke so
it's
many
a prison for your emotions, Les. These bars can't hold these bars.
Hold these bars. Ah, man. You know, Sing Sing should use that as a marketing. Oh, man. Yeah, the Afterparty's fucking amazing. Everybody should be watching this. It's a reason to get Apple TV or figure out how to use whatever free Apple TV thing you almost certainly have.
Yeah, yeah. Also get to see her partner
Yeah,
again this episode. We didn't her partner last season gets to be heavily in this
Yeah,
episode.
we see him for the first time because we find out how she got thrown off the force. So we get to, John Early, I believe is his name.
Yeah, you're fucking the fucking the arsonist. Well, I don't think it's a 1-to-1. You're fucking the arsonist.
Why are you in here? And he's why can't I see the other person talking? Is he ugly?
It's like,
What
no,
is this, a good cop, ugly cop? I'm not
I am
ugly.
boyishly handsome.
Jasper, that was Ben Schwartz's character's name. Jasper.
It was?
Yes, Jasper. You know, Jasper, that's going over great in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for our show this week. Obviously, next week we'll have Randy back to hear what he thinks about all of the shark movies and possessed toys and stuff that he's been enjoying.
And
Really taking
puppets.
advantage of that full moon subscription and anime. I'm stunned, really, and excited to hear about his all these anime shows he's been watching.
Ooh, I'll find the anime
it's just really
about
been-
puppets. Oh, it's Zatch Bell. I got it.
See, Randy, we got you taken care of. Well, that's about it. Until next time.
Dude, up.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast out of Austin, Texas. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/TVDudes.
You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is done by our friend and original TV dude Gregory J. Amani Smith.
To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com. I'm Randy Lander.
I'm Les Weiler.
And I'm Kyle Scott.
Thanks for listening.